All right, let's call this meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. There's a sign-in sheet. I think most people that here know the drill. If you wish to talk on something that's on the agenda, you may talk at that time if you've signed up. If not, general comments are afterwards. Sign up if you wish to talk and the topic. So again, thank you all for coming. Mr. Shemp, are there any changes or revisions to the agenda?
Yeah, we have a few additions with facilities improvements, personnel, and fundraisers.
Very well. All right, with that, we'll move on to approval of minutes from the September 15th executive and regular meeting. Are there questions or comments on those minutes? If there are none, do we have a motion to approve them as presented? Gina has made a motion.
Second.
Elise with the second. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, moving on to financial business, payroll and claims, Mr. Shemp.
Pretty consistent month. I didn't have anything that really stood out that we're pulling forward at this point. Will be interesting to take a look at the quarterly cash report, maybe when we get to that here in a minute. Relatively consistent month.
Very well. Are there questions or comments for Mr. Shemp? If there are none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Jim has made the motion.
Second.
Seconded by Zach. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, financial reports, Mr. Shemp.
Yeah, I'd like to point out on page 38, I tend to like to point out the balances. You know, we've got a current balance in our education fund of $2.994 million, and in our operations fund of $3.442 million. Rainy day, $871,000. Still holding pretty steady there. Textbook rental fund is something to point out. That is a fund that has traditionally been eaten away at, and it was good to have a balance there that we could spend on some textbooks. Those are just a couple items I want to point out. Look at, I believe it's 49A. The quarterly cash report, or comparative cash report, puts out quarterly. Just worth noting, we've got strong balances, total balances across the board.
Mr. Shemp, I had a question. Is the education fund balance rising? Is that largely due to a lot of the stimulus stuff, or?
So part of that is because of the increase in funding from the state and increased your per student amount. They've also increased in student count numbers, so we have more students, so we're getting more dollars as well. So that's part of it. We've also got, there are monies again, traditionally years gone by were spent on operations sort of activities that, we would have transferred out over into operations fund, and we may still look at needing to do that to cover some operation costs to balance that out at some point this year. We're not there just yet.
Okay, any other questions? If there are none, do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Kim has made the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Brandy. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, ECA reports, Mr. Shemp?
ECA balances are also strong at this point. We're coming into that time where we should see the athletic fund grow. It happens right after football season on through basketball, and then it'll whittle down, as it does practically every year. Because those spring sports just tend to cost more. They don't bring in the same amount of money. They aren't any less important, they don't bring in the same financial benefits. Really, we'll just bring the money in so we can spend it on the good things, so that's okay. It diminishes every year. That's the point for us.
Okay, very well. Are there any questions or comments? If there are none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Elise, the motion? Gina? Oh. Gina with the motion, Elise with the second. All those in favor? 7-0. All right, utility cost report?
Yeah, on the utilities, you might see, it sounds like, I don't know if the microphone is maybe working out there or not, I can't tell if that's equipment. Janet can throw some out there, but I'll try to project a little bit more, just in case. When you look at the utility report, you can see there are some missing items there. That's because this was printed a little earlier than normal. And that's why you see some blanks there. So I wanted to share that with you. Those blanks are because of printing this a little bit earlier.
Are there any questions for Mike on the utility report? If there are none, there is no action on that. There is no request in communication this evening, so we'll move on to the personnel report. And we have a few resignations. Mr. Shemp?
Yeah, I've got recommendations for the board to approve resignations or retirements from the following people. Dwight Ashley as Park Heritage High School principal, his last day 10/15/21. Ron Alaba, Park Heritage High School social studies teacher, last day 10/8/21. Andy Scatman, Park Heritage High School custodian, last day is 10/14. And then Alex Anderson, who works at Turkey Run Elementary as an ASL interpreter, his last day will be December 17th. Then we've also got a retirement in Carolyn Meyer, PHMS middle school custodian. Last day will be 12/31/21. She's been with NCP for almost, with the corporation, I should say, for almost 28 years.
Okay, yeah, and we'll have her retirement thing there closer to her date then, won't we? Okay, are there questions or comments on the 4 resignations or the retirement? If there are none, I need a motion to approve those, please.
So moved. Second.
Kim has made the motion, Jim Wrightsman with the second. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, a recommendation to approve staff.
Yeah, I recommend the following new hires. Marilyn Hoover, Turkey Run Elementary Functional Room Assistant for 5 3/4 hours per day. Start date 9/27. Michaela Smith, Turkey Run Campus Cafeteria, 5 3/4 hours, September 23rd start date. Corey Ransom is going to be spending 4 hours a night as Turkey Run Elementary custodian, beginning 10/18/21. Samantha Bordeaux, Rockville Elementary Instructional Assistant, start date 10/18. Erica Elmore, I'm still waiting on a start date from Erica there, but she will be serving as an instructional assistant at Rockville Elementary. Molly King as special education teacher at Park Heritage High School, level A is what she'll be placed on. And that is all the recommendations for all the new hires.
Very well, are there any questions or comments on any of the new hires? If there are none, do we have a motion? Elise has made the motion.
Second.
Zach with the second. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, ECA assignments.
Yeah, you have in your packet on page 80 a list of coaches for winter sports at the high school. In addition to those, I've got a list there for middle school coaches. I can run through that list if you like, or we can approve them as presented. Your call. Okay.
I don't know that we're going to separate any out, so I don't know that you need to run through them. Anybody object?
I'm good with it.
So we are,
The only one, the only other one there that's not, you've got Nicole Bonomo, who's taking on 80% of cheer, that Tracy Stone will be paid for 20% of the cheer season that she started in middle school. Nicole Bonomo's taking over that for the remainder of the season.
so So we're approving the ones on page 80 and the ones listed here in the. Very well. Are there questions or comments? If there are none, do we have a motion? Kim has made the motion. Seconded by Gina. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, recommendation to approve termination.
Yeah, I recommend the termination of Amy Lamrose as an aide at Rockville Elementary.
Very well. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we have a motion.
So moved.
Jim has made the motion. Elise with the second. All those in favor? 7-0. Okay, recommendation to approve transfer change.
Yeah, at this point, I'm recommending that Bruce Patton be placed in the interim principal position at Park Heritage High School until the completion of a search process for high school principal. Mr. Patton will be paid an additional $100 per day completed in the interim role. We assume this will go at least through this semester, could go throughout the entire year. We'll see how the search process proceeds.
Very well. Do we have a motion to approve? Gina has made the motion. Kim with the second. All those in favor? 7-0. Another transfer. Lori Bowles.
At this point, Lori Bowles has been transferred to teaching position at Turkey Run Elementary. She's been the Young Fives position, but I just want to formalize that she'll be placed in that position at a level A, which is backdated to September 23rd. She'll be there for the remainder of the year, is our expectation.
Very well. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Jim has made the motion. Elise with the second. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. So the next one is scratched. And Melissa Glugley?
Yeah, Melissa Globally will, I'd like to extend her hours from 5 3/4 to 6 1/2. What we found is we struggle to find instructional assistants and help. There are some people who are doing good work who would be willing to work additional hours. And so I don't want to leave a position open and tell somebody who's doing good work, no, you can't help us out an extra hour and a half, whatever it might be in this instance. So I'm recommending that we extend her hours to 6 1/2.
Okay.
Excellent.
If there are no questions and comments, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Kim has made a motion.
Second.
Jim with a second. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Somebody said they couldn't hear? No one? Okay.
Oh.
Jim's works.
Thank you.
Is that better? Can you hear Mike now? All right, all right. All right, let's move on. We have a maternity leave.
Would ask the board to approve a maternity leave for Amanda Martin, Turkey Run Elementary teacher. She'll be going on maternity leave approximately December 15th. She plans to return to the classroom in the fall 2022, August. Would ask that you approve that leave.
Very well. Do we have a motion? Kim has made the motion,
I'll s-
seconded by Gina. All those in favor? 7-0. Okay, there is no old business tonight. New business. Donations, get ready, there's a lot of them here. So, $125 from Nicholas Braun, $500 from Steel Dynamics, $100 from Lois Lane Robb, $200 from Tangier Friends Sunday School, $1,000 from the Community Foundation, $775 from the Community Foundation, $100 from Al Fernandez from Miami, Florida, $3,000 from REMC Multi-County Community Trust, $200 from Utility Management Construction LLC, $50 from Mount Hermon Church, $2,900 from Park County REMC, a 1949 tractor from Thomas Asher, $1,000 from Bowie Enlow Memorial Charitable Foundation, another $1,000 from that same place, $620 from the Community Foundation, $50 from Grace and Faith LLC, $200 from Jason Frazier, elect for sheriff, $100 from West Central Vet Service, $200 from Fifth Third Bank, $170 from Pat's Literacy, another $300 from Pat's Literacy, $500 from Park Adult Tutoring Service, $18,600 from various donors, $810 from Park Adult Tutoring Services, $250 from Thompson Electric Services, $18 that was anonymous, $50 from Mount Hermon Church, $279.30 from Park Adult Tutoring Services, another $200 from Park Adult Tutoring Services, another $1,812.30 from the Park County Community Foundation, for a total of $35,114 in total donations. So thank you, everybody who gives donations from our community. Those really do add up. Do we have a motion to approve them? Elise has made the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Kim. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Student transfers, Mr. Shemp.
Yeah, we've got the transfer numbers listed there for you. I need to work up at some point here. There was a question about number of transfers going from elementary to elementary. Our principals are working on that yet. They'll get me those numbers to share with you. But as far as students from one school to the next, different school districts, you've got those listed. And I guess you've got a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 kids transferring in, which, as always, it's hard to tell how many that is in addition, because we have kids that are transferring out at the same time. We do have the sense that it's actually still increasing. We're still increasing in size, but we are past the count date for this semester. There are 2 count dates again, so that next count day in February does matter to us when it comes to dollars and cents for the corporation. But we're just happy to have these kids from wherever they come from, and we're glad their parents trust us to have them here in our corporation. We want to take the best care of them we possibly can. So it's nice to note that.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve? Jim has made the motion. Second by Elise. All those in favor? 7-0. Okay, moving on to miscellaneous business.
Okay, in your miscellaneous business packet, we've got a few different items. I'd mentioned facilities and upgrades. First that I would ask the board to approve would be a paint project at Rockville Elementary's gymnasium. There's a quote there in your packet. The quotes are very far apart, it would seem. Mr. Overpeck had contacted the low bidder just to make sure that they really understood everything that was entailed. They seem to understand everything, that the expectation. So I would recommend that the board go with SDR Coating for an amount of $24,515 to do some painting upgrades over at Rockville Elementary Gymnasium.
When do they think they can get to this?
That's the next question. We don't have a date, because once we were going to get it approved, then we would know the final date. The others are so far away, and we would like to get it done, obviously, early November, but I don't know what their schedule looks like yet.
Very well. Are there other questions? If there are none, do we have a motion to approve this? Gina has made the motion. Second by Elise. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, the water softener system for the elementary, Rockville. Mr. Shemp?
Yeah, at Rockville Elementary, we've had some issues with lime and buildup in the water system. And one way to address that, after hearing from Culligan of Terre Haute and contacting other contractors, was to add a soft water system to Rockville Elementary. And so I'm recommending that the board approve the cost of $12,245 to install and own a soft water system. There will be some monthly residual cost that's going to come with that. We're going to have to purchase some salt, and for the most part, it's going to be salt. But the major cost is that initial $12,000. They had another option where you could rent for $3,500, I think it was, but it just didn't make a lot of sense to have somebody install that, be on that system, and then if you ever walked away from the lease or the rental, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend that instead we purchase it and try to get it done right. This
Okay.
should help avoid wear and tear on our equipment and maybe give kids better water to drink.
Okay. Questions, comments from board members? If there are none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Zach has made a motion. Seconded by Jim. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. All right, Mr. Shemp, permission to talk to the town?
Yeah, I'm just requesting permission from the board to talk to the town about the possibility of having a water well constructed near the football fields. This was an idea that Ash Overpeck had, that as we were looking at those water bills over the last few years that have been very high as we're trying to take care of that grass and make sure that it's manicured well, the thought crossed his mind and he brought up to me, what do you think about us building a well in town? If the town would allow us to do that for non-potable water, it would just be for watering the grounds. And so I'd like to have the opportunity for the board to say, yes, we're okay with you approaching that, or if you absolutely hate that idea, well, we can go from there too. But I think it would be about a 3 to 4 year payback, at which time, it's just like a well at home. You're not paying for city water. That water, you've already paid the initial cost. So I'm just asking for permission to talk to them about that. We would have to have an additional approval later on, once it was approved, if that was the case.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments about that? If there are none, do we have a motion to approve?
So,
Gina has made the motion.
I'll second.
Brandy with the second. All those in favor? 7-0. Okay, interim dean.
Yeah, I'd like to recommend to the board Amy Harpold as the interim dean at Park Heritage High School. She'll serve in this capacity for at least the remainder of the semester. In exchange for these additional duties, I recommend she be paid an additional $65 a day above her agreed salary as a teacher during the part-time position. At the end of the year, Mrs. Harpold will have the opportunity to go back to the elementary physical education position if she chooses to do so,
Okay.
with your approval.
Anybody have any questions, comments? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Jim has made a motion. Kim with the second. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Melanie Miller compensation.
Yeah, I'd also recommend that the board approve additional compensation for Melanie Miller as she assists the high school social studies department, serving as half of it at this point, for possibly the remainder of the semester. Additional compensation will be set at $75 a day beyond her agreed salary in this part-time position. As we don't have that third social studies teacher, Melanie has agreed to help us out as much as she can here, and it's taking on a lot, and much like the approval just before with Mrs. Harpold, we greatly appreciate people being willing to flex and help us. It's a challenging time, but we have good people who are stepping up and going to help us out, and we'll get better because of it. So I appreciate that from them, but ask for your approval on this second recommendation.
Very well. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Brandy's made the motion. Seconded by Elise. All those in favor? 7-0. Yes, again, thank you to everybody who's helping out in these situations. It's very much appreciated. Okay, we have a resignation.
Yeah, I recommend that the board accept the resignation of Carrie Ferguson. She'll be stepping away from duties at North Central Park effective immediately.
Very well. Are there any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion? Gina has made a motion. Seconded by Jim. All those in favor? 7-0 vote. Okay, we have another resignation.
Yeah, my final personnel recommendation is for the board to accept the resignation of Josh Kimbrough from an 8-hour custodial position effective November 4th, 2021. I know he is an assistant football coach or helps with football, and he's going to finish out that season as well, but his duties as custodian would end on November the 4th.
Very well. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Brandy has made a motion.
Second.
Do what?
Second.
Second by Zach. All those in favor? 7-0. ECA position.
Yeah, I need to recommend a clarification here. Jeff McCoy, I would like to ask the board to approve him as the full-time 7th grade basketball coach for boys basketball. He'll be paid the full contracted amount. There were 2 other individuals, Hunter and Landum, who will remain as volunteers, but will not be receiving any of the contracted amount at this point. Because my understanding is the time commitment is what I understand at this point. I did ask, just so the board knows, I did talk to Mr. McCoy just a little bit because as athletic director, you've got a lot of supervision. There are supervisors at the middle school that are going to help do some supervision. And he said, great to an extent, just as our high school athletic director is able to coach some. I understand that, and we have a need here. And so he's going to fill that need for us. And hopefully the kids do great under his leadership.
Okay, questions or comments? If there are none, do we have a motion? Elise has made the motion. Jim has seconded. All those in favor? 7-0. What am I hearing? Oh, is she playing music for the people on the line?
It's feedback from you.
Oh, very well. Okay, Cole Jones.
Yeah, Cole Jones was previously approved as an assistant middle school coach for football. However, he did not coach, and we've had this happen before, and maybe even it was last year or the year before, but essentially the 2 head coaches ended up splitting the other assistant pay. So what you've got is there's $1,600 that was set aside for the position Cole had originally applied for. That money would be split between both Shane Vandiver and Tyler Burgess. And I'm just asking for approval to pay them for that additional work that they've already completed.
Very well. Do we have a motion? Gina has made the motion. Seconded by Kim. All those in favor? 6. All those abstaining? 1. Okay, fundraiser.
Yeah, we've got a couple fundraisers here. Amy Harpold has submitted an application for a fundraiser to the Physical Education Department. The funds are set to be used to buy PE equipment. Products to be sold will be speed stacks and timing mats. I did communicate with Mrs. Harpold in consideration of her move to a different position, whether or not she'd like to still run this fundraiser, which she'd turned in before. She said yes, she would like to do it. She thinks she'd happily help whoever it is that's in that position to run it, and it'll be a good program for the kids. And again, it's a way to help fund physical education. So she wanted to still do that, and we're thankful of that. Also, Amanda Games was requesting a fundraiser for the dance team to cover competition costs. They'll be selling sponsorships for the backs of T-shirts.
Very well. Are there any questions or comments on the fundraisers? If not, do we have a motion to approve both of them?
So moved.
Zach's made a motion. Seconded by Elise. All those in favor? 6-0. All right, that closes the book on miscellaneous business tonight. Let's move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Schimpf?
Yeah, just a few items here. Up until just today, I think we ended up with we have one case of COVID in the corporation. Is that right, Audra? Okay, we have one case in the entire corporation right now. I was really hoping to get to say 0, but in honesty, there is one right now. We're thankful for that. Obviously, if you've followed the state's page on their Wednesday updates, the county itself is in much better shape when you look at that, which is nice to see. Probably a number of you board members saw that already as well. But it does give a little relief, even though we try to bear through it the best we can. There is a little bit of relief when that color goes back to a lighter color. So I thought it was worth mentioning that. Also wanted to mention the 30A. So there's a form that we go through with our vocational school each year. We get a certain amount of dollars based upon students taking vocational classes. That amount is up $23,000 at this point over last year, which is great. That's a good number. It's around $270,000 that we bring in for those vocational school students, and great funding. The other thing in my report, I guess I want to mention, was Laura Hayes, who was not technically an employee of the corporation, but has done great things for the corporation in the form of early college and helping us get our dual credit in line, has moved on to another position. She's got a promotion. Good for her. We'll miss her. At the same time, we do have a new College Connection person who came in today. Her name is Paige Wonderland. And so we look forward to working with her and continuing the success that the students have had in regard to dual credit. Those are the major points that I have to share. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Any questions for Mr. Schimpf on his report? If there are none, we'll move on to comments from the public. She doesn't have to get it. If anybody wishes to speak, now would be the time. Okay, I'll assume nobody wanted to speak. Comments from the public is closed. Our next meeting is, or bargaining meeting is October 27th. And those are executives. And then our next regular meeting is November 17th at 6 o'clock right here. So if there is nothing else, we're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.